What's up, Zox fam? Now, sitting here early in the morning, the Wuthering Waves developers have dropped a message, and I thought this was quite interesting because I think they're trying to do this before the weekend is up. So we're going to go ahead and dive into some of the things that they have to say. It might be new information, so we're going to go ahead and take a look. Now, the first thing it says here is greeting Rovers. It has been a while since the previous Wuthering Waves beta test. First and foremost, we would like to express our gratitude to each and every one of you who have been following and supporting the development of Wuthering Waves. During this interlude, our team has made extensive changes, adjustments, and optimizations to the game's content based on your feedback and suggestions we received from you. Before you embark on the next round of testing, we would like to share with you a summary of our development process over the last 10 months. Now, what's kind of interesting is that in the video that we seen from the devs that Dong was actually asking questions, we actually seen that they were referencing 9 months. So this means that there were some more revisions or changes made over the last month, right? Now it says, and also a few sneak peeks of some new content that will be featured in the second beta or closed beta test. Now, the first thing is the story revision, which we all knew, but it says stories are a crucial part of a world as expansive as Wuthering Waves, and we have been have been our priority in the list of changes. During this period, we performed a thorough overhaul of the in-game stories, removed settings that were deemed unsatisfactory, and made adjustments to character designs accordingly. Now, with the above changes, necessary modifications also needed to be made to overall story flow, animation, voiceovers, and other resources. In this iteration of the test, we have implemented the skip function. Oh man, there it is, folks. Skip function, which aims to improve the player's overall speed and pacing when experiencing some story missions. In addition, the inclusion of the Resonator story missions for Jian and Lingyang will help players fully experience the charm of these Resonators in conjunction with supporting game modes to gain a grasp of a more immersive gaming experience. So it really is dope that they decided to take the time to actually incorporate more things about Jian, more things about Lingyang, and this is something that I think is to kind of do what they did not do in CBT1, which is making these characters more likable. I think that that's also like a really big deal when we're talking about having like characters basically gravitate, or you gravitate to those characters, right? Now, with that being said, we are going to continue on. Now, they are showing a couple of different cuts here. I'm not going to lie, guys, the game looks beautiful. Like even as it still is maintaining some of the darker color palette, it does have a lot more lighting involved, which I think is kind of one of those things that like you can brighten up something or make something seem like it has a little bit more life without directly adding more color to it. And so I think that that's something that they absolutely nailed here. And so seeing some of these shots for the first time, even seeing like the grapple hook in this scene here, it looks really freaking good. And I'm hoping that this is like a boss like stage that leads up to something, because that would be really fire. Now, the next thing they have is improvements to combat. So the combat system from the previous beta was well received by the community. Using it as the foundation, we have made optimizations to the overall combat loop experience centered around the intro skill and outro skill. Now, detailed adjustments were made to aspects such as character skill effects, general combat mechanics, screen shaking, camera lock on, etc. Echo skills were also further improved, giving them smoother performances, and echo skill boosting special utilities will also serve as countermeasures during necessary combat situations, which basically is just insinuating the fact that, for example, it was a little bit janky, like trying to utilize certain characters from like the echoes, for example, to like parry and do things like that. So I'm assuming they've made those things smoother and even giving them more combat value. Now, they also go to say that 3 new Resonators, Jinshin, Lingyang, and Calchero. Oh, okay. So this is a character that I don't think they've really showcased as much yet, but oh man. Okay, I think that this character was mentioned in CBT1. Now it says have been introduced in the game for players to experience, along with 3 bosses, the Impermanence Haran, Mech Abomination, and Tempest Mephis, plus a new phase for Scar. Okay, that's huge. Now, while reducing the complexity for the players to gain the know-how of the game or in-game combat system, we also added high difficulty elites and the tactical hologram calamity game modes placed around various areas of the map, which greatly reward players that are seeking for challenges. So this is what we were saying prior to what they were going to do, and it's great that they're confirming this, that they are seeming to want the game to have a much lighter entry level, but they also want players that are seeking that reward. They have places that they can go to be able to do that. And we're going to go and we're going to search for those when we're streaming. So make sure you guys are there so you don't miss out on that, so you can prepare yourself. Now, it says our goal is for players, regardless of skill level or appeal for action games, to become engaged as quickly as possible for fully experience the smooth and satisfying combat Wuthering Waves has to offer. And this again is another important component, because this actually ties into what everybody has been worried about, is feeling as if the company was going to be just pushing a game that was going to be as difficult as PGR in some's eyes. No, the goal is for them to make it to where the casual can pick up this game, but they also are still going to want those in the previous paragraph, those that want to have that extra challenge. You have the option to do so, but again, high risk, high reward. So I think it is fair to say, as a casual, you can't be mad if someone wants to play something at a much higher difficulty and they get something slightly better for that, right? So that is just purely going to be a skill-based thing, and not really so much of I just had this thing at that point, right? So I think that that's pretty fair. Now, the next scene here, they're just kind of showing the monkey boss. I forgot what this boss is called, but it looks like he's doing a couple of different things now. Like, dude's freaking grabbing you with his entire hand now. Like, I'm like, yo, this is new. Okay. Now, graphic quality improvements. Now, the adjustment to the in-game visuals introduce a more comfortable and polished appearance. Internally, the team implemented a more detailed atmosphere tier system to address the player feedback of visual fatigue experienced from the previous tests. Thus, focus optimizations were put into place to model rendering, shapes, special effects, clothing designs, etc., based on characters' appearance. Now, during the test, players will have the opportunity to witness and be immersed in weather phenomena like the etheric sea, celestial anomaly, and retroact rain. Okay. Now, unique to the world of Wuthering Waves, these in specific areas distinctively designed sceneries have been placed by combining our concept designs, hoping to bring players a different experience. And so I'm not gonna lie, this is like a pretty big deal. Going into CBT2, what we did not have was weather phenomena. And so with us being able to experience different weather change, I'm wondering how that's going to affect the combat. Like if, for example, if it's raining or if it's a certain type of rain, does it boost the enemies or the echoes in that area or something? Or do you get a direct boost? I think those kinds of things would be actually like pretty cool to see. So we'll have to wait and see how that's going to look in game. Now, the other thing they have here is optimizations to echoes and new in-game events. Oh my God. Okay, so crazy thing is I made a whole video actually going into this. I'm still going to probably upload it, but it says compared to the previous test, we included a dedicated tutorial guide for the echo system while also lowering the difficulty of discovering and obtaining echoes. After obtaining an echo for the first time, the chances of re-obtaining it in the same tacit field will be increased the more you challenge it. The current echo kit adapts a tag-based system, which makes for a versatile combination and strategies based on the circumstances. Players will now also have the opportunity to encounter and collect elusive echoes. Final name may vary in game, but I'm assuming this is the shiny echo name. These echoes possess special appearances and features, right? But we won't spoil them just yet. Oh, that's pretty sick. Now it says, last but not least, for the first time, limited time in-game events such as DEVS of the Elusive Realm and Overdash Club track challenge will also be available for experiencing in this test. So I'm assuming when we're looking at these two dragon-esque bird-like figures, this is going to go into that flying scene that we've seen in the last trailer that they dropped. So I'm actually really hyped to see that. Now, the other thing is too, with this scene, they're actually showing like some cat-like opponents, which I've never seen those before. These are obviously new. So we're going to actually be able to experience that for the first time. So let's go ahead and let's see what they have to end this off with. So they said, as the game is currently in development phase, some of our content players experience are still work in progress builds, which may lead to unpleasant game experiences. Players will find some voiceover content for the characters and storylines absent within the game, but rest assured, these contents are undergoing rigorous development as we perform further improvements to the game. Players participating in the beta test from mobile devices may experience increased power consumption, overheating, and other issues for certain devices. Cross-platform performance, various UI interfaces, and in-game text localizations, and existing voiceovers will also undergo further optimizations down the line. We wish to extend our appreciation for the understanding and support you have given us thus far. And we are deeply aware that the game still has many shortcomings, and your feedback and suggestions propel us to strive towards the goal of presenting a game enjoyed by all rovers, as we will continue to carry out new features and enhancements to the game. Now, stay tuned to the future developer messages on further updates and improvements to Wuthering Wave. Thank you for being a part of the Wuthering Waves community, and we hope to see you in the upcoming closed beta test, the Wuthering Waves team. Now, I will say, guys, all in all, through and through, this was an amazing developer note, and it definitely varies, obviously, from the video that we've seen, like I said, with Rexland and Dong. I think that this is something that's just really nice just to ease out, you know, as we push closer. We're like literally days away now from the CBT2. I think it also is safe to say, too, that they are cooking. And they're looking for feedback, guys. So I'm hoping that you guys, I'm going to be testing out as much of the game, if not all of the game that I possibly can. We're going to be putting a lot of hours in. So I would really appreciate it if you guys make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you guys follow me on twitch.tv/Zoxaskun. Make sure that you guys come through, man, because we are going to be getting into a lot of stuff. Now, also with that, guys, we do have some other videos and things that we'll be planning. I am going to be announcing a giveaway very, very soon. So make sure that you guys stay tuned for that. All right. So that's going to be that, guys. Everyone, stay blessed, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.